The defendant lived with your daughter.
Yes.
He lived with your daughter for a couple of years?
No.
I'm
sorry.
to you. I'm looking at him. How long did you live?
We lived together about 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, I thought that you indicated in your answer that it was a couple of years.
We were dating for approximately 2.5 to 3 years, but we lived together for about 6 to 7 months.
2 months.
Okay. I don't want to hear you.
Okay, sorry.
When did you start dating?
March of 2021.
And in what month did you move in together?
In March of 2023.
Did you move into your apartment, her apartment, or did you move into a joint apartment?
She moved into my apartment.
And how long had you lived in your apartment?
I'd probably been there about 4 years or so.
This is what the case is about. Your daughter was tragically killed in an automobile accident.
Yes.
Mr. Morales was not in the car at the time that happened, and it is your claim that he has certain property of your daughter's
Yes.
that it rightfully belongs to you, since I assume she died without a will.
Intestate, yes, Your Honor.
I know what that means, madam. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
She died without a will.
Correct.
And you want your stuff. Mr. Morales says that after she passed away, you, who had moved cross-country a couple of years ago, had designated someone whose name was Belinda?
Bethany.
Bethany, to gather up your daughter's things that you wanted, and Bethany took them.
Correct.
You're suing him for $10,000 for value of return of property, attorney's fees, and damages for pain and suffering. Okay. You know, sometimes it's much easier to be angry than it is to be sad. So I have absolutely no idea what you're doing here.
Been angry.
I have no idea what you're doing here, but it looks as if there's a bag over there. Would you tell me, Mr. Morales, what is in that bag?
There were a few items that I did end up finding.
Would you please give that to me, Kevin? I want to see.
And so these are those said items, so I brought them with
Okay.
me.
Okay. And you brought these to give to her mother?
Correct.
Fine. Would you give those to the plaintiff, please?
Thank you. Thank you.
In what month and year was the accident, Mrs. Benhart?
She was killed on August 13th, 2023.
And now we're a year and a half later, and what is it that you think that Mr. Morales has that belonged to your daughter and that therefore you should have?
I have a list. I lived with my daughter for 25 years.
I want to explain something to you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't want to see a 15-page list. A year and a half after, tell me what the big-ticket items are that you think that he has that belong to your daughter.
I just got 3 small bags back, and my daughter...
I don't care.
Okay, I don't understand the question. I'm so sorry.
If you say, my daughter had a Rolex watch, and it wasn't in her property, that's a thing. If you say, my daughter had a set of white pearls, and that wasn't in her property, that's a thing. I don't want to hear about clothes, shoes, pocketbooks, cooking utensils, dishes. I don't want to hear anything about that. Do you understand? So now look at your list and tell me what the first thing is that nothing that I've just mentioned, clothes, shoes, underwear, pocketbooks.
Okay, a rose gold-colored apple.
Just a second. A rose gold-colored
Apple watch, which I have a picture of her wrist 10 days before death.
Just a second. An Apple watch. Do you have an Apple watch that belonged, what was her name?
Excuse me, Rachel. And no, I do not. I'm assuming that...
You don't have it.
No, I didn't.
Did you sell it?
No.
No. He doesn't have it. What's next?
I'm so sorry, but right here, from his attorney to mine, he says he has it, but he purchased it, so he believes it's his.
Just a second.
Has it.
Just a second. Is that correct?
I did purchase it, but I do not have it. I don't know if it was confiscated when she was in the accident because she was wearing it. I'm not sure.
He doesn't have it. Next.
Okay, but this...
Next.
Oh, my God.
Next on your list that you say that he has that belongs to your daughter.
Again, I may be a little nervous and sad. No, but I'm not explaining. What can I tell you? I can't say that I only got 3 bags back from a 29-year-old.
I don't care what you got back.
But I don't understand the question.
Well, then pay attention.
Okay. I'm processing
Then
issues.
you have to pay attention,
I am.
madam. What did your daughter do for a living?
She sold at a swap meet for 2 years.
Now, just a second.
Okay.
What did she do for a living when she and Mr. Morales were together?
She worked as a cocktail waitress.
She wasn't a high-income earner. Am I getting that right, Mr. Morales?
That is correct.
Okay. And now we're talking about a year and a half later. Was she working when she was living with you?
She was working with me when she was living with me.
She was working when she was living with you, not
Correct.
working for you.
No, not for me. Working when she was living with me. We did actually move to Reno in July of 2023, and that was when she got the job as the cocktail waitress.
I want you to tell me what else you think Mr. Morales has that belongs to your daughter.
Her birth certificate. And,
Just a second.
Okay.
Do you have her birth
I do.
certificate, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Kevin, would you give her birth certificate to her mother? Birth certificate's very easy, madam. All you
Appreciate
have to do
it.
is go to the county clerk's
Thank you.
office and you can get another one. What's next?
I appreciate this.
What's next?
Yes. There is a desk of Rachel's that he said he threw it away. It was damaged, but I don't think he had authority to dispose of things. He wasn't an executor or anything, or a
So what?
court
Let me ask you
administrator.
this question.
Yes.
You don't doubt this desk that he threw away?
He had stated he did.
You don't doubt that he threw it away because it was damaged. What do you want him to do? Pay you for it? Pay you the value of it? Well, what
No,
do you
it
want?
was very sentimental. I would have liked it to repair
Well,
it.
you can't have it.
Okay.
What else do you think that he has that belonged to your daughter?
I lived with my daughter for 25 years.
Listen, Matt.
She worked for 13 years, and she had accumulated a lot. She was just under
Just a
29
second.
years old.
I have no idea whether that's true or not. And it is irrelevant to these proceedings.
Okay, so what else does she have? All I know is I got 2 bags of clothes from someone that was just shy of 29, and I lived with her before I moved 2 years ago, and she had half my garage filled with things, put it into a large storage unit, and I never got access to the storage unit.
I don't know why you're mad at him. You should be angry at the drunk driver who caused
Oh,
the
I am,
accident.
too.
So what are you doing in court if you said he stole $50,000 in cash that
No,
you kept
yes.
in a vault? All of this stuff that you're talking about, a desk that you would have liked to have had
Okay.
of hers. Nonsense. So I don't understand why
yes.
he didn't cause what happened to your daughter to happen.
understand.
So I don't know what you're here for.
May I answer the question you asked
Yeah,
me?
you sure? Other than what you've already told
Okay.
me, that you lived with her for so many
Right.
years, that she had stuff in a storage unit,
Yes.
that you didn't have access to it. That's all speculation.
Yes.
I asked you,
And I'll
what
answer, Honor.
is it a thing that I can ask you? Said birth certificate? You got a birth certificate. Desk? He actually disposed of an old desk that was damaged. What do you mention it for? I don't know why. You said I would have liked to have it. Well, that means that you would like me to make a monetary judgment against him for a desk. Well, I'm not prepared to do that. So let's move on.
Could I answer the question you asked? While I'm
Sure.
here? To lose a child, anyway, it's indescribable. Then to have a short-term 6-month relationship, retain 99.9% of your daughter's stuff. This is all I have to touch to remember my daughter's life.
I want to tell you something.
Yes.
That's more important than a desk
I
or
know
a pair
it
of
is.
shoes or an Apple Watch that you can go out to replace. So I want you to sort of think about it this way. If your daughter dated a defendant for a couple of years and then was happy enough with him to move with him. Now, you weren't there because you moved cross country.
Correct.
You moved 2,000 miles away from your daughter, okay? She lived with him for a month, 2 months. It's irrelevant. She must have been happy with him if she moved with him. You should be saying, thank you for making the last few months of my daughter's life happy. She was living with a guy who she clearly liked because she moved with him. And instead of saying thank you, you sue him for nonsense. Nonsense. It's not his fault that she's gone.
I know that.
So you want something to touch of your daughter's. It would seem to me
This is all I have.
just a second. It seems to me that that's a something. And I would rather, put that down, and I would rather have that as a something, which your daughter clearly curated herself, which means she went, she saw this, she liked it. It was a crystal, she collected them. It's clearly more important than an Apple Watch that you can go into Apple and buy another one up, or a desk. So you want something to touch of your daughter's, that's it. And say thank you for making the last couple of months of my daughter's life, or couple of years, happy. Are we done here? Thank you.
So maybe it's their grieving process. Maybe this is makes them feel better. I don't know. But I think they're targeting the wrong person in this.
After just shy of 29 years of life, this is all I have to remember my daughter.
Oh, I gave them back everything that I possibly had that was hers.
It's good that I get to move forward. I really thought she'd be on my side.
I hope she finds closure.
It wasn't meant to be, but yes, I can move on, and he could enjoy all my daughter's things going forward.
Anger is a much easier emotion to deal with than sadness. The plaintiff was devastated by the loss of her daughter. The defendant wasn't involved in that accident at all. But it really just seems to me that the last person you would lash out at is the person who brought her happiness for the last few months or few years of her life.
And from what we saw today, he seemed very
decent.
Here's the birth certificate back, a couple of things that you weren't given in the initial trade over. So he seemed pretty reasonable.
Tragic, a 29-year-old woman killed by a drunk driver, which is what happened.
Hopefully this will give her some closure, though, and she got the last couple items.
I don't think so.
With him, I mean, with the defendant.
Him, hopefully with him.
Bro, this case is actually sad. Like, not drama sad, real sad. Because this is not about money. This is not about property. This is about a mother who lost her daughter and doesn't know what to do with that pain. So let's break this down. A 29-year-old woman dies in a car accident. Just like that. Gone. And the guy she was dating, he wasn't even in the car. So he had nothing to do with her death. But now, he's the one getting sued. Why? Because he has some of her stuff. Think about that for a second. Not the drunk driver. Not the person who caused the accident. The boyfriend. The one who was with her in her last months of life. And honestly, that already tells you everything. So they were together for about 2-3 years, living together for a few months, which means she chose to be with him. She was happy enough to move in with him. That matters a lot. Now, after she passed, the mother says, he has my daughter's things, and she comes to court asking for money, attorney fees, damages, pain and suffering. But here's where it starts falling apart. The judge asks a simple question. What exactly does he have? And she can't answer clearly. She starts listing things like clothes, shoes, random items. And the judge shuts it down immediately, because that's not a real claim. Then she mentions an Apple Watch. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But guess what? He doesn't have it. No proof. Nothing. Gone. Next, a desk. A broken desk. That he threw away. And she's upset about it. But even then, she doesn't want money for it. She just says, it was sentimental, and that's when it hits you. This case was never about the stuff. It's about holding on to anything that reminds her of her daughter. And then the moment that really changes everything, he hands her a bag with the remaining things he found, her daughter's items, her birth certificate. And you can feel it. This is not a thief. This is not a bad guy. This is someone who already gave back what he could. And the judge sees it too. She literally says, you should be thanking him. That line hits hard, because it's true. He made her daughter happy in her last months, and instead of gratitude, he gets a lawsuit, and that's where the judge gets real. She says, it's easier to be angry than to be sad. That's the whole case, right there. This is grief, turning into anger, and landing on the wrong person. Because the real person responsible? The drunk driver, but he's not here. So the pain needed somewhere to go. And unfortunately, it landed on him. Final decision? Case dismissed. No money. No damages. Nothing. And honestly, that was the right call. Because you can't sue someone for your pain when they didn't cause it. Real talk. This case isn't about law. It's about loss. And sometimes, people don't know how to handle that. So they fight, they blame,